Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today, once again, it's a very special one because I got the opportunity to interview Factor, the Hartford Regional Qualifier winner. Went on to win the whole thing with Master Yi. Conversation was amazing. Such a great dude. We talked about his deck, his matchups, funny stories throughout the weekend. Got to know a little bit more about himself, asked personal questions. I really enjoyed making this video. And for those of you that did not know, I played against him in the pre-RQ. We got matched up together and I beat him. So we talked a bit about that, made some jokes about that. Towards the end, we're just talking about general topics, how the pricing works for these events, what legend he's excited to see added in the game. It was just a very great interview. Thank you so much, Factor, for doing this with me. And to those of you watching, thank you very much for watching. I love you and please enjoy the video. I will have timestamps below to go over uh, yeah, what we talked about during the video because it's quite a long one, but it is very enjoyable to watch, I believe. It was very enjoyable to make. So without further ado, please enjoy the video. Hey man, how's it going?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
Yeah, I would assume so, man. Like, first of all, congratulations winning the whole thing at Hartford. Like, I'll say because it is the last RQ of this set, I believe like it was the toughest one, like toughest competition, right? People had like the most time to play with the cards. So, hey, just amazing run, bro. Huge congrats. Like, how you feeling now that we're like 3 days after?
It's been a little bit of a crazy 3 days. I thought that like maybe after 1 day or 2 days that like the feeling would kind of go away a little bit, but it's still like I'm still kind of in shock even now of that I was able to finally get the win and hold up the trophy and yeah, all the feelings are still there as strong as they were on day one almost.
Hey man, that's crazy, bro. I have to say something though, pretty funny. Like when we were trying to organize the this interview, you were saying like we were trying to find a time, and then you were saying, "Ah, I'm working for the next like 3 days." Bro, what do you mean you're working? Like, don't you win like the equivalent of like I don't know, like 50K or some shit, like with all the prizes, the mats and shit, and your best of? Like, what are you doing, bro? Just play Riftbound, man. I'm sure you love it like a lot. What do you do? Like,
Yeah, so I manage a local game store here. It's
oh,
a family
nice.
business. My dad owns it, and I'm the manager here. So like, well, yes, the goal is to get more into playing with Pump professionally. I am going to be taking a little bit of a step back from my job. I do have some obligations to do over this next week or two, as far as like making sure that we have employees in the store and everything like that. I
Yeah.
don't just want to like leave and be like good luck to them, especially because like I mean I do run it with my family and everything
Mm,
like that. So it's not as easy. I did take yesterday off. I was like, I need at least 1 day to kind of get
yeah.
everything under wraps after winning and but yeah, these next couple of days there's definitely a lot going on for me as far as like working at the store, and then I'm also been working on like content and stuff like that for everybody as well.
Yeah, cool. But okay then that's a huge respect. That's sick. I didn't know that the LGS, bro. You're probably gonna get a lot of conversation when you're gonna be working these next few days. People are gonna come up. Well, since you mentioned like it's a family-run TCG. I think maybe we'll just before going into the deck list, I just wanna like speak maybe a bit about you, right? Like Riftbound. I'm assuming it's not your first TCG.
It is not my first TCG. I played Pokemon TCG for a very brief time. I played it for like 6 months and was like,
Okay.
wait, not the biggest fan of some of the systems that they had within the game.
How long ago
And then the
was it?
One Piece TCG released, and I was super big into that for about a year. And after a year, I had a couple unfortunate 7-2 runs at events. And the way that their events work is it's kind of the same like we did, but I missed the bubble for an invite to nationals multiple times in a row,
Ooh.
which made me really frustrated with the game. And so I kind of took a step back from TCGs for a little bit until Riftbound eventually ended up releasing.
Okay, so it hasn't been that long, right? Like when was like the first Pokemon TCG phase you would say? Like maybe 2 years, three
It
years
was
ago?
like 2022. I played for about 6 months, and then yeah, One Piece came out late 2022, and I played that for about a year, and then I played Riftbound when it released.
Okay. Still pretty new. And how old are you?
I'm 21, so
Okay.
pretty young compared to everybody that I talked to in the scene from what I've seen.
Yeah, yep. And I have to ask, did you know about League of Legends? Are you a League of Legends player? Have you watched Arcane? Like, what's your League of Legends knowledge?
I haven't watched Arcane. I feel like I should, but I haven't. I've actually
It
been
is
playing
good.
League of Legends since I was 6 years old. Like 2011. Like I was like
Okay,
really young playing League of Legends. Like against I'd play against like the AI bots as a kid, and I
damn.
like had such an amazing time. I've been playing video games since yeah I was like 5. Since I was able to use a computer essentially, and so I played a lot of on and off League of Legends over the last like 10, 15 years.
All right, man. Pretty interesting. I suggest we go into the deck list, start talking about the good, juicy stuff. Let me just set up here. Do you kind of remember your deck list? I would assume so. If
Yeah, yeah. I even going into events, like when I'm submitting the deck list online, I have it. Like I always submit it from memory, and I think
okay,
knowing every card that my out is in the matchup is really important.
yep, I 100% agree. I want to start by talking a bit about battlefields. They are pretty standard, the ones you're running. However, I want you to comment on no Star Spring. Very
Yes,
popular battlefield for Master Yi throughout the weekend, and even like multiple decks run it. What was the reasoning behind that?
yeah. I think Surspring is a very strong battlefield for a deck. We were trying to find a spot to put in Arena's Greatest. I even saw some Yi players on the weekend replace the Cedar Power for it and flip Starspring blind. The reason that we chose to play Starspring was mainly two things. We were trying to find space in the list to play the three Sabotage, the Fiora, and we found that First Mate was the most cuttable card, especially on non-Starspring games. And we also found that doing some of our testing, Starspring could end up being really volatile. There were some games that we felt we lost just because our opponent got to activate a really good Star Spring and got more value out of it through us in the mid game. And I personally am not a fan of very volatile battlefields. Like
Mm-hmm.
I like things that are pretty close to being blank a lot of the times because I think that I
Yeah.
can just outskill my opponent if there's a little bit less variance, and I feel like there is sometimes in those blank battlefields. And I didn't want to lose to a Vanguard opponent
Yeah.
getting able to activate Star Spring against me, or in the mirror if my opponent hits like a 2 drop and then first mate 2 drop and then gets to double conk and activate Star Spring. I just felt like there were too many moments that you could lose just because of playing that card.
Yeah, I mean, makes a lot of sense to be honest. As you said, like I'm kind of like you. I love almost running blank battlefields. Like if I would, if I could, I would. But yeah, very interesting. Made for a pretty fun finals game two. That double arena's greatest. We'll get a bit more into that later. But all right, yeah, and the other battlefields are pretty standard. You know,
Pretty
like
standard. Yep.
all right. Since you're talking about the Fiora and um, yeah, I remember our conversation on the Friday because we'll get into like the Friday pre-RQ, but I remember afterwards we talked and you were saying the Orange Fiora was something you and your team kind of tested um, for the mirror matchup. And we will see that a bit later, but you went into three mirror matchups in a row during the end of your run. How did that help out? Like, how was that card in your deck? How did it feel? And did the other Yees run it, or were you kind of that was the real sauce of the weekend?
When I never saw any of the three mirrors I played, at least from my opponent's side. And
Okay.
as far as me, I in the first mirror I played, I didn't see it, but in the second one I saw it in a game, and it felt good, but not. It wasn't like a powerhouse, but it felt good and did mostly what I needed it to do. In game three, it was super good having it in the main board because in game one I got to play it, and it put me in a really really commanding spot in game one. I even had my opponent. I was 9-1 at the time, and my opponent called the judge over and he was like, "Can we verify this card is in his main deck?" So it was like a really, really good play just for me to set up some future
Yeah.
turns. And yeah, it did everything I wanted to do. I assumed that on day one the card was going to be a little bit worse, going into a lot more of the rogue matchups. But I felt that with how I had done in other events, that I'd be able to breeze through day one, hopefully, just to off skill, even if my deck list wasn't perfect for every
Yeah.
matchup. And I figured I would be hitting things like Master Yi and Diana in day two.
Yep. I mean, paid off. And how would you say like in rogue matchups, did it feel kind of like a dead card, or it was like compared to like let's say a first mate that you said was cuttable?
It felt not dead. A lot of times you had to play it and it didn't feel good. There was something that we found throughout the weekend, especially we were talking about it in the hotel after day one, where you would make these plays where you get to play the Fiora, and then when you move it into the battlefield on your opponent's turn, they would end up being forced to move in, maybe something with a 2 drop. And then you get to kill a 2 drop for free that you wouldn't normally get to kill,
Mm,
even if the other unit would have normally had more might than the Fiora, which felt really good. So even if I'm playing against decks that do have multiple units, it did almost always trade for something else, which made it do feel really strong. And then you could, on your turn, come back and just play the Vanguard and get over them. And that's
yeah.
kind of what ended up happening for us a lot, even in the matchups it was worse for.
Yeah, and that card is like pretty crazy. I was questioning myself when we were watching top 8 on the road back, like how the interaction works with the Master Yi Legend, and it procs before the double might, so it ends up defending for 10. Like that's insane.
Yeah, it's huge on defense. Like in one-on-one situations, it's basically impossible to get over on defense, especially with all the buff spells that my deck has.
Yeah,
They can't really just like blind swing into it and pray.
yeah. It doubles your value of each spell you cast on it. Let's see. Rest of the list is pretty standard. Like, I'm more of like the Victor guy, right? So I'm not sure about all these Yi decks. The Primal Strength, one of is. Do people run more, or they just don't run it?
Um, it's pretty standard now that houses ran it in Vancouver. But people are some people on one, some people on none. I have vocally, even since winning the event, said I don't like that card. I haven't liked that card since set one. My teammates were like, we have to play it. It's a fourth punch first, and it is a fourth punch first. It's really good
Yeah,
in things like the mirror and times when you need it. I played it twice all weekend. Once you saw me play it in finals when
yeah.
I primal strength my 2 might unit to get over his 3 might unit. There was another time in Swiss where I played it to get like a 2 might unit over like a 3 or 4 again, and those were like the only 2 times I cast it all weekend. So
Okay.
it didn't feel super strong for me. I think that looking back, I might have just considered playing the third on guard for the deck and just
Yeah.
being more consistent on the pieces that I really felt were good. The card just has so many holes. It's so bad to defy and bargain, and it's only an action, so I can't use it like in response to feel or trigger or anything like that. Which
Mm,
makes it, I think, a little bit worse.
yeah. Yeah. I totally agree. And look at the rest of the list. I mean, to be honest, it's a Master Yi list, like pretty standard, pretty just solid cards. But there is one thing that we have to talk about, like the last two games, the semifinals and the finals. There was one card that really helped you out. The camo, bro. The humpback camo. Talk a bit about that card. Like, how were you feeling up until that point of that card?
I think genuinely up until that point, I had boarded out the camel most games I had played.
Damn, both of them.
Like almost every game I had played up until that point, I had boarded out the camel.
For what? Alpha
Like on my
Strike
arenas,
challenge
yeah,
or
yeah, it's things like challenge and stuff. The card feels not as good on the arena's greatest game if you're not into a control
yeah,
deck
it's
for
slow.
sure. Which makes it really easy to board it out. Just to bring in better cards. Like I bought in challenge into almost every matchup.
Okay.
Um, just because on the draw it's really easy. It feels really easy for me to put out the lonely poros, and on the play it felt really easy to put out the camels into non-control. So it made space for me to bring in the challenge. And if I felt I needed the fuel, I'd bring it in, or if I felt I needed an amount of rakes or the
Yeah.
alpha strike against yellow, I'd bring those in kind of based on what I was playing. But yeah, the challenge I'd basically always bring in, and going into it's so funny. I remember that interview where they were talking to me about the camel, where it was super strong in the pike, and I was like, yeah, it hasn't really done anything all weekend. And then all 3 games I get put against stream are pike control, Ezreal
Yeah.
control, and Diana, and I'm like, these are the matchups it's here for, and
Yep.
this is why it's in the deck, even if it wasn't doing much in day one.
Yep. Hey, that camo, bro. You should get like a little figure of a camo or something, bro, to honor
I
the
need
the
something.
runner.
He showed up when I needed him. Just I kept drawing 2 in those game ones somehow. It was it was wild.
Yeah. It definitely made it quite easy. You mentioned starting in Alpha Strike against yellow. Why yellow? Why Alpha Strike against yellow?
Yellow has 5 drop Vi. We don't have an answer to that card. That card just like kind of beats our entire deck.
Yep.
And Alpha Strike's the only way to beat it. It's not the most optimal way to beat it of all time, but it's the best that our colors have. And like,
Okay.
yeah, you can just like if LeBlanc plays that card, they can just copy that card multiple times, and you just like don't get to play the game. So you
Mm.
just really need to have an answer to it.
All right. Yeah. Makes sense. Yep. The Vi is a very good card. All right. to be honest, there's nothing more I want to go over on the deck unless you want to mention some stuff about your deck. The rest is pretty standard. I don't know if 3 of Sabotage is common.
Um, it wasn't going into the event, but a lot of the high level players that I had talked to on day two, people like Houses and everybody like that, had made it to 3 of Sabotage by the event. We decided to play 3 of Sabo. Like I believe, like a week and a half before the event, my teammate wanted to play 3 Sabo, and so I think publicly it wasn't super public that Yi players were going to be playing 3 Sabo. A lot of them were still
Mm,
on 1 to 2, but we found we were just boarding in all three in most matchups, and we might as well have it in the main board. And I think a lot of the high level players got to the same conclusion that we did with that card, where it's very good in this format.
yeah, yep. It's that card is crazy, bro. That weekend I got sabotaged so many times. I feel like, and every time it just feels bad, right? First of all, you reveal your
Yeah.
hand, and even with Scuttle, revealing your hand to your opponent is like, oh, like you kind of reveal your plan, and
Yep.
then
Yep.
you get -1 card. It's like on the choice of your opponent. Crazy. It's like a mind splitter as well.
Yeah. It's a 1 minute splitter. Yeah, it's crazy.
All right. Let's start going over the weekend. Let's start with I think it's important to go over the Friday. Not because of our match, just because of the switch between the Friday and the Saturday. And I also want to talk about like who you are as a player and like the fact that you switched to Yi 2 days before and in the pre-RQ. Like, let's go over that. So let's search factor in the pre-RQ. So round one, you
Yeah.
just went 2-0 against an Ez. Round one pre-RQ, like you can get match against anybody. How was that? Like, was it just like a
That matchup was good. I feel like he drew really poorly. I feel like I remember like winning it really quickly. He drew very poorly. There wasn't a lot to talk about. I actually think that player ended up going 4-1 in the pre-RQ. After I went 3-1 against him, because like we were talking a little bit on Twitter. And yeah, he ended up doing really well after I beat him, which is funny because I ended up not doing that well in the pre. But
yeah,
yeah, that
finished four
matchup
and
was
one.
pretty
You
smooth.
finished four
Just
and one.
yep. Yep. Yeah, that matchup was pretty smooth. Yeah, he just didn't draw what he needed. I think I saw Camel both games potentially, and yeah.
Yeah. All right. Then game two, you lose the mirror matchup with your Fiora tech. It's like your second game of the whole weekend. You lose the mirror matchup 2-1. How are you feeling by that? Oh, first of all, like how was the game? How was that game? Was it pretty close? And how are you feeling
So
after that 1-1 in PRQ?
our games were really close. I that is the game. I think if I was not able to play that game, I wasn't winning the event. I learned more in that one game of Riftbound than I have in any game of Riftbound I've ever played in my life.
Wow.
Game one, I started up 6 points and like felt really good and ended up losing. And I learned so much about how easy it is in the mirror to be up a lot of points and still lose. He actually was on the tech. He had the arena's greatest for the Emperor's Dice
Okay.
game. He had the Fios. Like he kind of was almost on the exact same list that we were, which I thought was really interesting. Other than he was playing Star Spring over Cedar Power, so he flipped blind Star Spring against me. And I did the thing. I actually got to go second, and double conquer. He missed a 2 drop on one, and then I went 2 drop, and then first made double conquer to
Damn.
get
Okay.
both Star Spring and Cedar Power, and I thought I was in a really good spot, but I ended up fumbling in the end game and some of the mid game, and yeah, I think taking that loss really led to me understanding a lot more of what I needed to do in the mirror to allow me to get the wins later in the main event.
Yeah, I had quite a similar situation as well where I got come back to where I had like in my head I already won that game, and it is true you learn a lot from those games. They can get pretty frustrating, but if you don't let it go to your head and try to learn from it as you did, and I think as every TCG player should do, right? When you sit down to a table, your opponent is the best player ever, no matter who they are. You just play to your best and play to your outs, play without emotions. So pretty interesting. And then round three. Damn, you go against Koala and
Koala. Yeah,
you
I
get
got.
beat 2-0 by a Victor? What happened there?
Ooh.
What happened there, bro?
Look. Look. You had a game one of all time. I drew what I think I like played a crab on turn one, and then I got no, it was a Poro, and then I got cold, and then I had no units in my hand, so I played my Yi with 1 mana up, mind you,
Yeah.
and 7 spells. None of them would defy. And
And
then
then
he
I play
played another
Safety
Cold.
Inspector
Oh, it
or
was Inspector. Yes, it
yeah, it
was
was
Inspector.
Inspector. Yeah.
Yeah, Inspector killed my Yi, and I look at my hand with no units. I go draw for turn, crab, play crab, draw another spell, pass.
Yeah.
And I was like, this game is over.
Yeah. That game one, yeah, I remember now. Game one was pretty quick.
Yeah,
Happens,
game one was quick.
happens like against Victor as well. Like he can
Yep.
brick, but he can kind of high roll. And then game two, like I remember, I think I did like a crazy bait play. Like I walked in with the recruit when you had 5 up, you Renguard, and then I Imperial Decreed to answer your Rengar.
Yes, yeah, there was a big Imperial Decree play. Yeah, that happened. Yeah. I do remember there being a big Imperial Decree, and you got to kill the Rengar.
And then
I
I think
feel
I
like,
bellows in baseline while
oh
the
yes, you bellows like two crabs and something
yeah
else, I
yeah
think,
yeah
in base, and got to just like clear my board, and I was in a really weird spot. I think I learned a lot of like in that game, I guess, of what my game plan was going into Victor, and I think like yeah, being a little more careful with the Rengar is definitely something I needed to consider going into you being able to play things like Imperial Decree and stuff.
yeah. And so this is here, and then you end up winning like round 4 and 5. Is there anything in particular against you want to say? There was Irelia in round
Round
four.
4, oh, this Irelia, I felt so bad. So I hit this Irelia, and like she goes game 1, she goes pass on turn 1 into I was just like playing like I was like I don't know like 2 drop and Yi or something, and she's like pass into Irelia, and then I go Sabo the Defy, Charm kill the Irelia, and her hand was like not so fast, Rebuke,
Oh,
Ride the Wind, Horde Bargain. And that was like her whole hand. And she was just like draw, pass, draw, play tied to it, pass. Like it was so unfortunate. She just didn't
oh,
draw any units. And then game 2, I had another really good Sabo that I think got to take a defiant dance, and like we played a little bit of a closer game. I got another good charm play on a Stella coin that they played really early, and I ended up having 2 charms. I ended up being able to charm a Stella coin and charm an Irelia, and then it being able to play sabotage and then charm the Irelia after. It's a really
yeah.
good follow up and makes the matchup feel really easy.
Yeah, you kind of confirm like, all right, I can do this charm play before doing it. And then round 5, Rengar 2-0.
Yes, I hit a Rengar. We just split for the prize wall tickets. We
Yep.
so like I wasn't going to really split at 2-2, but neither of us were like super.
It's what it's like
Both
one
of
one
my
gets
friends
seven
were
tickets,
splitting.
one gets 8 tickets.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And both my friends were splitting already, and so I was like, I'm gonna be here for an extra hour while they're. So we just decided to go run over, hang out with our friends, and then I ended up getting to be. I got put on. We all collect all the pins from all the events we go to, so I had to
Oh,
get pins
nice.
for everybody because I had 8 tickets. But yeah,
Nice.
no, it was definitely the worst I've done in a pre-RQ because I've gone 3-2. Most of the time I play it out in the last round, but because everyone else was splitting, I just figured made
Yeah,
it easy.
I want to like stay a bit in the pre-RQ and go like in our match because like we talked quite a bit after our match. Like I remember I sat down, I saw your sleeves. I said like, hey, nice Kachao sleeves,
Yeah.
and explain me all that the thing with your team. But yeah, we talked a bit about after the match, and so this is where I want to talk about your switch to Rengar. Sorry, to Master Yi 2 days before the event. Because after the event, we talked. You told me, "Oh yeah, I finished ninth or like 13th. I missed best of Pike. I went second." Like we were talking about. I was like, "Damn!" Like I did not know you. I'm sorry, I did not know you before the event. Um, and I was like, man, you should just stay with Pike or bring Pike tomorrow. And you stuck with Master Yi. Um, how was it like? How was your mental state, right? Switching to Master Yi 2 days before the event, you're going to the pre-RQ. You do like your worst pre-RQ. You do, I would assume, worse than what you would have expected. Um, and like, how are you feeling Friday when you're finishing and you're like, man, did you think, man, should I go back to Pike, or you were pretty much set on Master Yi? What was going through your head?
Yeah, there was definitely a lot going through my head. I've played in 3 PRQs and I've gone 3-2 in all of them. So I was like, I played one in Atlanta. I went 3-2 and then ended up losing and winning into top 8 on day 2 of that event. So I just I don't know I just felt like I was cursed in the PRQ. I wasn't super upset about it
Mm,
about going not doing as well as I wanted to in the PRQ. I think that I had learned a lot in the games that I had lost, which is really what I wanted coming out of that event. I wanted to be able to go into my games and learn about how I need to be
yep.
playing the deck at a better level. I was considering Pike for sure, especially knowing that I wouldn't really have much time to test for this event. But I did play Master Yi in all of Set 1 format, even post Houston with Andy existing and all of that. We had a really, really solid Yi list that me and my teammate were still winning skirmishes with. And going into I felt confident understanding the fundamentals of the deck. I also think just in general, I have a lot of pretty close to good placements in Riftbound, and my fundamentals felt really strong.
Yeah,
So even getting put on a deck with not much practice, I could get there and learn a lot through my day one, hopefully, and then have a
yeah.
good day two where I felt solid. And yeah, I was pretty committed to it. Me and my team, my teammate Ricky, we have played the exact same list in Atlanta. We played the exact same list in Vancouver. So I felt like might as well keep that going, and it's gone well for us. So yeah,
Nice. Yeah. Like hey, you made the right choice to stick to Yi. Let's just say that. But yeah, like
yeah,
your fundamentals are definitely strong. Like you are a very good player, and I feel like Master Yi is that kind of deck where if your fundamentals are strong, right, and you just play slow and like concise, it is an extremely, extremely strong deck, right? It doesn't have those explosive turns, it doesn't have those things, but it's just consistent. So if you are making always great plays, then you're just gonna have the most chances out of everyone. That's how it is.
yes, yeah, I very much agree. I thought it was really interesting, especially my top four, my finals games. I felt like my opponents were playing pretty quickly, and then I was taking a lot of time to think, and I was really
Hmm.
surprised about how, yeah, just like how fast they were playing. Like we're in an untimed top four and untimed finals,
Yeah.
and I was like, even decisions that felt pretty obvious to me, I really wanted to make sure and double check and use the time that the judges were kind enough to give me.
Yep. Time is a valuable resource, especially in TCGs. All right, let's go a bit about a bit over your weekend, your matchups on the main event. So round one bye. Then you start off the weekend severe. Aurora, I'm guessing. 2-1. Was it
Yes.
close? How was it? Were you kind of stressing?
Yeah, I actually hit somebody who I'd met in Vancouver who had hit my teammate, and we were really, really close. We were talking a lot even before the event during the pre-IQ, and so I was a little disappointed that we ended up hitting so early. He's a very, very good Aurora player. I was really worried going in the game, but game one, we blind flip Arena's greatest. That was our plan going into Aurora. And that game felt pretty easy. He missed any ramp. Like on 6 mana, he like played a last rights and pat. Like, it was so bad.
Oh yeah.
He went for a double gust play when I moved my unit in. I moved my pawn in, he played Gust, I played Discipline, he played Gust, and then I had the Defy. So I was able to conquer, get the extra 2 points that Gust normally declines, which made the game feel really easy from there. Game two, he didn't have Catalyst, but I think he had Mobilized and just did a lot of things before I could answer them. He was on the play, which made it a little bit hard. Um, game three, Game three was really close. We had a really tight end game. We actually ended up going to time, and I was thinking really heavily. But I told him we went to time, and it was like 7-1 as it is in a row. And I was like,
Oh,
if we get to a board state in these next three turns, well, I felt like you were winning, then I would give him the win because that was only right to me. I didn't want to win off
wow.
slow play. I wasn't slow playing in the games, but when beating him off time, especially somebody I know that's really good and can do well in the event. So, but we ended up getting to a board state where I think I ended up actually getting the last point to win with like a punch first over his units or something like that. I made a couple misplays here and there going into our last game for sure. There were a couple things where I was like, okay, I did that wrong, I did this wrong, and that's what led me to be in a spot where I almost lost. But I ended up being able to close it out.
Nice. Um, that's pretty cool of you to say like, hey, even if we're in time, turn 0, 1, 2, 3, if it's a board state where I know I couldn't have come back, which can happen pretty often in Aurora
Yes.
games, would have given him the win. Uh, because I know a lot of people that wouldn't. And also, let's talk a bit more a bit about playing for time. Uh, it is a strategy that people apply against Aurora games because they are slow. And we've even seen on stream, a Rengar player kind of his turn took 5 minutes to play 2 units and pass, which is okay, right? You can think, but I don't know. What's your opinion on that? Like, kind of playing for time.
Um, I think I really like playing control decks. So I'm not super for playing for time a lot of the times. Me personally, it's really hard. I think that I'm a very fast player. I've only gotten to time in regionals. That round, I went to time once in Houston. I don't know if I've ever been to time other than that in events. I play very quickly, I think, when it comes to my decision
Yep.
making, and as far as like my actions, like I'm fast, like fast with the cards, I guess is a way to put it. And so I don't really go to time very often. I think that most of the time playing for time is something that if shouldn't be rewarded just because like going into things like top 8, top 4 and finals, you're fully untimed.
Yeah.
And so I think that games should be won like played and won at the highest level. Like whoever had played more optimally
Yep.
should get there. And I think it is a strategy people employ, unfortunately, and there's not really a easy way to stop it. But it's not something that I am looking towards doing
Yeah.
most of the time.
Because in Riftbound, time is a shared resource, right? So I think let me know what you think about this. I think they should do kind of like chess. You know those timers when you finish your turn, you click and then it goes down,
Yes,
and we each have like 30 minutes or whatever for each game, like or actually for one game it would be maybe 15 minutes each, like or 10 minutes each, and you just click it, you have your time, and you can lose on your own time. I don't know. What do you think? Do you
I
think maybe
think
they will ever do that?
I don't know if they'll ever do it just because like Magic had never did it, which means I think a lot of people aren't going
Mm,
to look into doing it very much. And I think a lot of people follow that standard. I think that it'd be really interesting. I also think those would be good to make a clear way to announce passing of focus and priority, which is really nice. You can
true.
when you click the clock, now you know that focus has 100% been passed and that it's your opponent's turn to make the decision. I do think it would lead because of how much back and forth in this game. It is really hard.
Yeah,
Like
I agree.
you'd
I
have to
didn't
like
think about
tap
that.
tap like which is really hard. When I was playing Pokemon, I was like they should be doing that in Pokemon because there's not any interaction between opponents, so you just have your turn, their turn. I think it's a lot harder in this game, and I
Yeah,
think
I agree.
I think instead of that, we just need players and judges to be able to crack down a little bit harder on slow playing and make sure that people are playing to their. I think a lot of people get scared to call a judge in events,
Yep.
especially people who haven't
Yep.
played in a lot of events. They're really scared to look uh, like look in a bad light because they
Yep.
called a
Yep.
judge on their
Yeah.
opponent. I think judges are there to enforce fair play. I think I call a judge all the time. If my opponent calls a judge on me, like I understand there's a lot of reasons for judges to be there, and that's why they're there. They're a resource that I think should be used.
Yep. I 100% agree. If any judge is watching this, big loves to you, man. Respect to the judges. Like during whole Hartford, you guys were amazing. I'm pretty sure every event you guys are amazing. There's a bunch of you always ready. You are trying to do your best. Big loves to the judges, to be honest. But yeah, I agree. Like one of my friends, I went there. I don't know which round, he got matched against XPE, and it's not a matchup you see often, right? If you don't play against it, you don't know the cards because like no one plays the cards except XPE. An opponent had all his cards in Chinese, so after the round he's like, man, I didn't I didn't know what my opponent did the whole fucking round. He just said, you go here, he dies. No, not the gear. He just told like he relied on
Yeah, I
what his
just told them
opponent
what
told
they
him,
did. Yeah.
and we told him like you could have asked the judge, ask him, hey, sorry, like can you sit down, tell me what each card, and the judge can do that, and it is completely fine. It is in your right, but I agree, and I will say even me sometimes I'm just you don't want to call a judge as you said because it can put you in a bad light, and say like, oh yeah, but it is fine. Like they're there for that.
Yep, that's what they're there for. I agree. Yeah, like yeah, I've had a great experience with all the Riftbound judges as well, and they're all great people. So yeah, don't be afraid to call a judge in any event that you're
Yep.
playing.
All right. Then round three, Victor, you went 2-0. Hey, I gotta ask. Did you think about our match in the Friday? Did it help you? Like,
So this game was kind of not real. Game one, he forgot about my leader passive, and he
oh,
didn't. It was weird because I put a lonely polo on a battlefield. He played a spite fountain, brought the spite in, and I was like 3 to 4, and he's like, oh, and then like made the spite die. If he asked to take it back, I probably would have let him, but he didn't ask, and I was like, okay. Um, and then yeah, the game was pretty sealed from there. Like he had
okay.
lost to so much value off this spite fountain. Game two, I flipped over Arena's Greatest into his Arena's Greatest. And
Yep.
he played a Recruit on turn one, and I played a Poro. He played a second Recruit with his lead effect, played Xin Zhao and double conquered,
Yep.
which I thought was a pretty aggressive play. So I bought my Poro, killed his Recruit, and then I Vanguard, killed his Xin Zhao, and I hit an Hourglass on Vanguard. And then the game was
That's
pretty much over
GG.
from there.
Yeah.
Conquer the 4, hold the 6. Sabo the Imperial Decree go to 8, and that yeah, we finished in like probably 10 minutes, but
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, nothing much, right?
yeah, not much to say.
Then another Irelia 2-0.
Yes, this I really played was pretty good. They ended up doing pretty well in the event. They were close to getting the best of, but ended up fizzling out at the end of day two.
Shout out
Um,
Antoine.
game. God, I don't remember. Game one, I feel like it was pretty in my favor most of the game. I think I feel really confident in that matchup, and it felt really good for me. Game two, I flipped Arena's greatest for some reason. I don't know why I did that. He was on the play. I, I don't. I don't know. I don't know why I did that. To be honest, I flipped Arena's greatest on the draw.
Just fuck it.
I was like, I want Emperor's Dice on the play, but I was like, I don't know. It was dumb, but I did it, and it ended up working out. He at one point I sabotaged him, and his hand was Defiant Dance, Defiant Dance, Defiant Dance, Defy, Disciplined Boots, and I was
Oh,
like,
that's a
oh, it's over.
crazy
I'm getting
hand.
cooked. But because
What did you remove?
I he only had I took the boots. Because he had just mostly Defiant Dance that buffs. Once I got through the discipline, he had to deramp every time he wanted to buff. And so he could never find a good time to cast the Irelia because of that. And yeah,
Mm,
he had the end game turn. He just barely couldn't get there, where he like full deramp trying to get there essentially, and just I think it was like one might and just barely couldn't get over my units.
was that a primal strength play that helped you at the
No,
end,
it
or?
was like he just had a tie turner, and I had like a Yi on the left and something else on the right, and so he had to he had to have the moon to play another unit, and then they both had to go over because he didn't have Ride the Wind, and I took the boots earlier, and
Mm,
so he had to try to get. And I was I was at 7 because of the arenas, so I'm
okay.
holding. If I hold one, I win, and he just couldn't get both of them over both sides. I just fully built up on one side,
That boots call is
and
good
yeah,
though. Like
yeah,
removing the
getting rid of
boots,
the
that
boots I
was
think
that was
was
clutch.
good. Yep.
Then it says Riftbound regional qualifier players. Round 5 pairings are up. You open your phone, you see Sam D. Sherman. What do you think?
I was excited. I was excited to play the matchup. I have hit a couple of the other regional champions before, but haven't ever gotten to the chance to play against Sam, so I was really excited going into a game. Game one, I got demolished. I don't know if I've lost a game of Riftbound that bad.
Yeah.
It was everything I did was incorrect. And I learned, and I was like, okay, I figured it out. Game two felt really good for me. I learned a lot from my game one, and game two felt really good. Game three, I was in a pretty dominant spot. I had a Rengar on the left and a Yi on the right, and I was at 6 points. He had a Kai'Sa in play, a Sabotage, an Inferno, and a Challenge in hand, and nothing else I knew, and I had that as public knowledge. And then his Rengar in his champion unit going to
Yep.
6 might. So what I thought was going to happen was he was going to play Sabo, and my hand was Pit Rookie, Poro, Defy. He would take my Defy, and he would Rengar over my Yi, which I was fine because I was like, cool, then my Rengar holds to 7. So he makes that play. He draws for turn, Sabos, Rengars over my Yi, and then he ends up top decking a Card to Hide, which I assumed was Pike, but um, on
Yeah,
my turn I do
Rengar.
challenge,
Yeah.
and because he had top decked the Pike, I couldn't buff my Rengar and challenge his Rengar to kill it. Also, because of the Pike, I couldn't math out a way where on my turn, because he had the Pike to accelerate, because my plan was if I can kill the Kai'Sa, then he can't get over to the other side as well.
Yeah.
But because he had the Pike to accelerate, he could accelerate it over and then play the Inferno and then use challenge to kill my Rengar. So that top deck ended up just getting him in a spot where he barely closed out the game by 1 might, which was really unfortunate. But you can't win them all.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to Sam. I remember my game 2 in the main event, like in Saturday. He watched the whole game. So it was round 2, and then game 2 he watched it from A to Z. But I think it's because my opponent was like his friend or teammate. But like from
Yeah.
mulligan to end, Sam D watched my game. I got blasted against the Master Yi, but I'm pretty happy because like I keep forgetting like it's not your first regional for you, and you're a good player. Like you've almost made top 8, top 9. Oh, and also I wanted to talk about that earlier, but yeah, like so for me it's like, oh, Sam D, I would have been stressed, but like you're a great player, right? You've played against champions. But sorry, I want to go back. Once earlier you said like I think it was in One Piece you missed the bubble or the cut, whatever, like out of a few every time, and that was really frustrating, obviously.
Yes.
And I remember in our talk after our game in the pre-RQ, You talked about how you played Pike in Vancouver and you missed the best of by one. You went. Did you finish nine in Vancouver?
No, I missed the best of by two. There were two players ahead of me, Rossum and somebody else. But I got to a point. I think I was like 8-3 at one point, and I couldn't win the best of. And after that, I was like 8-3. I couldn't win the best of, and even if I won out, I probably wasn't going to invite. My break was really bad, so I was like, I think I just ended up blocking out in the event, and that's why I lost the last two rounds. But yeah, I ended up being close to the best of for Pike, but yeah,
Yeah, and
just
you
barely
kept
not there.
pushing though, like didn't let it get to your head. But all
Yep.
right, sorry, just a little sidetrack.
No, yeah, yeah, of course.
Then Lux 2-0, was it combo?
Yes, it was Infinite Combo. It was somebody who also went 8-0 day one of Atlanta, which is funny. I recognized his name, and I was like, why do I recognize your name? But there wasn't much to say. I missed a two drop on game one, and I was like, it's over. I literally missed a two drop. I was like, it's wraps.
Yep.
But I do double Sabo, double Defy, which got me there.
Oof.
And then game two,
Yeah,
yeah, game two, I do triple Sabo, Defy, which got me there. And I was like,
yeah.
yeah,
Think
like,
about it. It's like unwinnable for Lux because of the sabos, right? What nice time
yes, I
sabos and
think.
defy the sacrifice.
Yeah, defy the
It's
sacrifice. Yep, I
it's
only defied
GG.
sacrifice, and then I was saboing out sacrifices, and yeah,
Yeah, it's
it felt really good for me. So
yeah.
also
Yep.
the arena's greatest was like a tech that I had to help if I did see that matchup.
Yep. Yep. I agree. Gotta go fast. Get chow. Azir 2-1.
Yes. I was really worried. We hadn't tested me into Azir at all, but I knew to draw disarming rake in game two and three.
Mm.
Game one he missed a one drop play, and the game felt pretty easy from there. I think I saboed in a rise as well, and just it was a pretty easy game. Game two, I put Emperor's dice. I did not see a disarming rake, and he was like one drop equipment into like one drop equipment into brutalizer into BS sword into a rise, and I was like, yeah, like the Azir did Azir things. Like I didn't really feel like I had much that I could do in that game.
Yeah.
Game three, we played a really close game three where I was double holding at 7, and he had an Azir in the back, two Sand Soldiers, one with the one drop equipment, one with an Eye of Herald, and a recruit. I had shouted in the turn before, so I knew the only card in hand was 5 drop Vi, and he makes a play where he brings all the Sand Soldiers into my Lonely Poro, so he could then Azir them to the left and kill my Rengar on the left. I sat for a little bit thinking I had a discipline and a challenge in hand with 4 runes up on what exactly how I wanted to order this. I made the decision to discipline the Poro in that moment to try to get him to play 5 drop Vi. Because if not, if I discipline the Poro and he doesn't play the Vi, I get to clear his board. And then if he goes onto the left with just Azir, Vi, and the one recruit, then he loses to punch first. So he chooses to play the 5 drop Vi so that he can stun and then bring Azir and everything over to the left. I thankfully had the challenge. I got to challenge my Polo to kill his Azir
Hmm.
after he had brought everything to the right, which then
So then he
allowed me
couldn't
to
go
hold.
over.
Yep. And so that felt like a really strong play. I was really happy with
Yep.
that play that I made to barely close out that game.
Yep. That's the kind of plays, right, that like you need to be doing. Like in your whole weekend, I will say like, and that's anyone that wants to play like in an RQ. I feel like there's matchups there's all this stuff that goes into your runs, but still like good players always finish at the top, and I think it's because of those types of plays, right? And I think that play was kind of one of them. During your weekend there's going to be like 4 to 5 plays that are like whole run defining and like game defining, and if you don't do wrong you lose the match, you get matched up into
Yep.
and it just like snowballs. So yeah, you clutched it up over there, made the right
Yeah.
decisions, the right
It
sequencing.
it's a little bit crazy with this deck too because I know my opponent's hand the whole time. Like
Yeah.
there are some times where I can see this line where I lose, and so it's hard. Like
Mm.
you have to kind of like with this deck get your opponent to not take the line where you lose because you see their hand, which is really really funny. And I ended up getting to do that a couple times on the weekend. I think that won me a couple games.
And it's like it's an interesting thing to think about. Do you think sabotage makes you a like made you a greater player just in general? Like because you know you have always hand knowledge, and obviously like it helps you in the matchup, but just like takeaways from the game, just knowing your opponent's hand, do you think it makes you a greater player?
It I think it helps a lot with understanding like like understanding, evaluating the future. There are some games I'd play Sabotage on turn 3, and I'd be like, oh, like I know what deck I'm playing against. I know what cards they play. Like, oh, this game's over. Like I just knew I could
Mm,
see my hand. I could see their hand. I was like, I know what's gonna happen. Like I felt really confident in evaluating board state positions 2 to 3 turns ahead, which I think is what allowed me to think a lot of my wins is
yeah.
understanding where we were going to be 2 turns from now
Yeah.
and how to keep the cards I need to win two
Yeah.
turns from now based on if my opponent top decks the best cards in their deck multiple turns in a row.
Mm. Yeah, because with mastery it's easy to just spurge out everything quickly in
Yeah,
the beginning and yep. And then Annie 2-0. I feel like Annie's pretty good.
yeah. Any
and
any and he's like I don't want to say it's a buy, but it felt pretty much like a buy. You charge their Kaiser, and then their Kaiser dies, and then
they
you
have
sabotage
trouble.
trading 1 for 1. Like the deck doesn't draw cards,
Yep,
so like
yep, yep.
yeah, they just run out of cards in like 3 turns, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then they're like draw for turn, and they're like, I drew an Inferno, and I'm like, yeah, your deck sucks. Or they're like, I drew a hard bargain. I'm like, yeah, yeah, your deck sucks.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. It's pretty hard for them, like star-crossed maybe, but even
Yeah,
then, it's like, yeah,
yeah, but like they can't really start cost the Rengar,
now
and so like they're gonna start cost my Yi maybe,
or
or
your
like they can't start
Poro, it's
cost
like
Camel
okay,
either. They can't really start cost either of my two
true,
bigger units.
yeah.
So like you I feel like there's very little out for the any player in that matchup.
Then 3 Ys in a row, man. Like, speak about that Yi run and speak about. By the way, 2 zeros in a row against Master Yi. Let me guess. Fiora, Fearless, whatever it's called, Orange Fiora,
Fiora,
and just being
I
better,
want to
obviously.
say
Like, obviously.
I want to say that she carried him, but unfortunately, only saw her twice in the 6 games that I played and won. But she was very important in the 2 games I did see her,
Did you three of?
which was really
Like,
helpful.
did you
I
sideboard the side one in all
Yes, yeah,
three?
yeah. You
Yeah.
sideboard in the third one. Yep. I just think that it really comes down to that loss in the pre-RQ, where I started with 6 points to 0 and lost, because that's kind of like what I was doing to my opponents. Like
Um,
I let them get like my two. The first two felt pretty comfortable. I think I was just a little bit of a better player than they were overall, and it made it feel really comfortable. But going into my last one at X1, like my opponent was very, very good at the game, and I just let him get points early, and I would make sure that all the trades that I was making were more valuable card advantage for me. He'd get to 6 points, 7 points, I'd have 2 or 3, and then he just wouldn't ever be able to double conquer because he is really bad at attacking. I never gave him a spot to then go a 2 drop. Things like that are really big important things to remember,
mm.
and like yeah, I think that
Uh,
I
why
just felt was
Rengar
strong
two
in the
drop?
mirror.
Is it because it's hard with buffs with like you can't just discipline or?
So I found that like if they Rengar is so hard for a deck to get over without a punch first. Even a Rengar with a discipline doesn't get over it, and then they have one buff spell. Like you just like your deck, you just basically can't ever let them play Rengar. Like what I would do is I'd like play a 2 drop and then I'd pass, and then I'd play my Yi and then I'd pass, and I'd play my Camel and I would pass, and then I'd let him get points, and then I'd make a big conquer turn where I'd go like Sabo one of your cards, conquer with my spells because I saboed, so I know what I could lose
Yeah,
to,
yeah.
and then I charm his third unit, and then like I'd be in
Just
the
resets
while they
everything.
had 5 points or whatever. I now control both battlefields, have 2 points. I know their hand. I killed their whole board, and I still have a board, and that's what was allowing me to win the mirrors. I think against if I was playing against myself, it'd be really funny now thinking about how much I learned. Like if I played a game against myself like today, like we'd be so passive against each other. I
Yeah,
think that the game would be really interesting. But yeah,
yeah. And I think if we go against each other again, I will not go 2-0 against you. Let me tell you that.
yeah, we will.
Um, so
Maybe we'll get to see.
that was the Yi run. Then
Yeah,
Pike. That's when you
Pike.
start. That's when you start top eight, right?
Yeah,
Or
so that was my winning in 2 top 8.
oh yeah.
Um,
Because afterwards you drew. You
I
drew. Yeah.
have lost 2 winning into top 8, both times on stream. So they feature matched us, and I felt a little bad. So I hit Blossom, who we're really chill. I talked to him in Vancouver a lot because we were both going for the best of Pike race, and we were talking a lot during this event as well. Like we were literally like making jokes. We were like, "Oh, we'll see each other in finals," like things like that. And yeah, I saw the pin on my phone, and was pretty sure I was making top 8 once I saw that pairing. I really, really know his deck. I really know exactly what I need to be doing
Yeah,
against
because you're
him.
good with Pike.
Yeah, I played more games with Pike than like any other deck in this whole game.
Yeah.
And then we go into top 8, or we go into the winning in. I was really excited that we were going to be on stream. I felt like I was going to get to showcase a lot of my knowledge about the game and his deck. And then I do 2 camels twice. And then I didn't really have to do that. I just got to play camel a bunch of times. And so it ended up being a little sad that I felt like I didn't really get to showcase my skill in those games. But that's why we play sometimes. It's better to be lucky than good, that's for sure.
Yep, I that's a good sentence. I remember that. But yeah, and like little spoiler for what's coming ahead. That was not the last time you draw 2 camels and Zonias and stuff like that in the beginning. So then Bradykin, you just intentional draw to go into top 8 makes
Yep.
sense. But
Yeah.
you end up facing him again later. Then you start off with the Diana, which actually took a game against you. Like that. Holy shit, that's crazy. That was the first game. Wait, so from match 8 to the win, you lost 1 game.
Yes, I lost a single game in all of day 2. Yep. That
God
is
damn.
correct. Yeah, I think I was looking back. I was trying to see if I have the highest game win percentage of any player in a regional ever, and I couldn't see one higher than me. But I only looked at Atlanta
81%.
and Vancouver because I think Squirtle might be higher than me.
True.
In one of his runs would be my assumption, but I haven't. I've been able to look if somebody knows if they have the stats somewhere. I'd like to know if my game win percentage is the highest or if Squirtle was higher than me in game win percentage. But yeah, going into top 8, yeah, I dropped a game. I was a little worried. Unfortunately, I believe all 3 of my opponents lost their last round that I had hit earlier in the event, meaning that my resistance ended up being pretty bad out of the X11s, while going into the last round, we were like 71.3, 71.1, and 71.6. And so really just depending on how the last round shook up, who was going to be where on the placements. As I know, the highest seed gets to choose to be on the player of the draw, which can be pretty impactful in this game.
Yep.
So going into it, I was 5th seed, he was 4th, allowing him to choose the play game 1. But I squeaked out a really, really close game 1 that we played,
Yep.
which made me feel really confident getting. I knew I needed to win a game on the draw, and so getting it out of the way early felt really nice. I definitely think he was the best opponent I played all weekend. I think he's a Magic Pro player. He's part of Aspen's Climb, so with Sam Sherman and all of them,
Mhm.
all the Magic players. Yeah, he was an incredible player. We played 3 very close games, 3
Yeah.
very intense, very
Yep.
close games. I think it was the last round to finish in top 8, and yeah, I mean they were very hard fought games. Like I think there's a high chance if he had won it, he could have won the event as well and made a really deep run. He
Mhm.
had a rough matchup going into Edgeville if he did win it, but yeah, I mean they were definitely the games that if I was going to lose the event, that felt like the spot.
Were there any moment where you were kind of like, damn, that's cooked? Like,
I don't know. I felt like the whole weekend I felt like I mean, you can ask my friends. Day 1, I felt like I was going to win the. Well, I felt like my friend Ethan was going to win the event on day 1. I genuinely think he's the best Master Yi player in the world. I think he 2-0'd Houses are big in the last round, and even Houses was like, yeah, like the way you guys played the mirrors is very good. And yeah, he taught me everything that I didn't know. I thought he was going to win the event, but he had a rough run going into day 2. But once I started seeing my brackets and everything, like I hit 3 mirrors, which is exactly what I wanted
yeah, you
because the
dragged
more
Houseman
mirrors
above.
I hit, the less people in the best of race.
True.
Like going into my round, even at 10-1 against Rossum, I was the highest Yi. Everyone else was X2, which felt really, really good. It felt like I was like pretty synced to getting the best of with how strong my resistance and game win percentage was as well. Um, yeah, going into top 8, I saw my bracket, and I had this feeling that if Olivia ended up losing, that I was really confident going into the event. I really wanted to hit Prismatic in finals. We got to play one other time at a 10K before, and it ended in a little bit of a sore win. He accidentally drew an extra card because there was a Grove in play, and he had Grove last turn, but not that turn.
Oh.
And then I got to take his Mundo out of his hand on Teemo, and he couldn't really do anything after that, very unfortunately. So I really wanted to get an actual game against him where we got to play a real full set. So I was really hoping to see him in finals, but I felt going into it that like sitting at the top 8 table, they've been over this paper and they're like, hey, tell us what prize wall medals you guys want. And I'm looking at it and I was like, I feel like the set 1-1s are the best value.
Yep.
And in my head I thought, wait, I'm gonna win the event anyways. I might as well choose the one I want. And so I chose the Ezreal because I wanted Ezreal.
Yeah.
That's how
I
confident I felt. Even in top 8, I was like, I'm gonna choose the Ezreal. That's the one that I want. I'm gonna win the event
Yeah, because
anyways.
you're
And
gonna have the foil medal one, bro, of Master Yi.
yes.
The best of
But
Master Yi.
no, I felt really good. I felt really confident. I think confidence is very, very important going into these events,
Yep.
knowing that and with my placements in the past, I think that I am a player that has the skills to be able to win an event. So I'm
Yep.
finally ended up happening.
And then, so Bradykin, again, amazing player. Like, I'll speak about Bradykin and I will glaze a bit, but like, so he's from Montreal. He's representing our side. I'm from Montreal, and hey, we made a pretty deep run, and there was quite a lot of people from Quebec over in the event, and everyone was supporting Bradykin. And that guy like is a legend around here. Like where he plays his LGS, uh, he, he has a bounty on his head. Like if you win him, if you win one game against him, you get a pack. If you knock him out of a skirmish, you get 5 packs, stuff like that. Because he's just that great of a player. Made a crazy run, went undefeated, right? Or 14-1.
Yes, undefeated. Yep,
Yeah,
11. He
undefeated.
ended up at 1102. Yeah.
Top seed going into top eight with control Israel, like amazing player, but the games were just so in your favor. It was crazy. Like that I don't know, just getting the 2 Zonias and the 2 Camels, and it's just like, all right.
No, yeah, playing the game, I felt like I had platinum in that game. I was just like, game one, drop off my camels. I was like, somebody wants me to win. Like somebody wants me to. But no, I think I played it really well. I know if you go back and watch the game, especially that game one. Like I had 6 mana. I didn't just slam the camel on 6. I was
Yep.
making decisions based on his hand and trying to get him to use his resources. Really trying to get him to play that Watcher so that I could play the camels a lot more freely.
Yeah, game one was
And you'll see it a lot.
was good. Like game two was kind of easy,
Yes.
but game one,
Yeah.
like, and I'm not
Yeah. Game
discrediting
two.
anything, but
Yeah, I had everything that I needed to play on the Watcher. Like, and you'll see, like I bought up a camo and hit an hourglass to make sure that I wouldn't die
yep,
to Watcher, and then I bought up a camo and then first made and brought it back. And you'll notice, like, well, yes, he's playing a control deck. I understand that that deck plays a lot of bad cards sometimes and can fizzle out with things like Pack and Trove. The deck can be a little bit clunky,
yep,
and I knew that. While yes, I had to be aggressive, I didn't have to double conquer every turn like you do against a Roro, a Lux Infinite combo. You
yep.
can be a little bit slower and just make sure that you hold your resources for that final turn so that they can't get so on the final turn they can't get you with a watcher play or a full board clear and things like
Yeah,
that.
because I like literally the only way we were talking about this in the car because we were watching the top eight driving back, and like literally the only way he can get over your camo, and like if you have only one punch first, because if you have multiple buff, then it's kind of cooked.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
he
multiple
can
point,
he
yeah,
can watch your Kha'Zix, and that's like his only thing really he can
yes.
do. And pray, if he has maybe a spirit like in the back, try to put a 2 extra might there, but it's pretty hard. But yeah, like the game one, you played very well, and maybe that first loss against the Yi in the pre-RQ, where he came back, kind of allowed you to play in that same style against the round one against the Israel, like just a bit slower, try to focus on the resources. But
Yeah, they're also I hit Allen in Atlanta on Edge on my winning in, and I was playing Draven, so it's a little bit different deck, but I was super duper aggressive, just super trying to focus on points.
yeah,
And I realized after that game, I think if I had just been a little bit slower and a little bit more methodical and not giving him as much value as I did, that I maybe could have gotten there in our set. And so I think I learned a lot from that as well. That game way back, even though it was 4 months ago, like I still remember a lot. I guess like only 2 months ago, but I still remember a lot of why I lost. And I think I try to take all of my losses and use them as learning experiences more than anything.
that's a very good way to see it. But yeah, ended the Brady Kid run. Shout out Brady Kid though. Like it was
I
crazy on the in the stream. I was in the car and I was like, man, I played against both of these guys. Like I've never won against Brady Kid, but I've played against him like in Montreal, and like I played against you in the PRQ and I 2-0'd you, and that's what I was like, what the fuck is happening? And then you won, and I was like, bro, if he wins the whole event, I 2-0'd the champion, and I was like, you're one of third losses. Like it's good. The only one
yeah.
that 2-0'd you. I don't know how that happened, bro. Like what? It was crazy watching that match. And then you get into B-Switz, the Diana match. his list was like he's a good player. Like he could have done
Yes.
some stuff like the way move triggers and then discarding the sprite fountains.
Yeah.
Like his list was pretty good to like ready up, and then he tried to do some stuff with the moonfall as well. But I feel like yeah, once again you had the watchers and sabotage the right moment.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just
I
gonna
think
close my
that
door,
his
but
list.
I'm gonna listen. Yeah.
No, you're good.
You can
Um,
keep going. Yeah.
yeah, I think that overall his list is very favorable to me. I heard that he didn't hit a Yi until finals in the entire event, which I thought was
Damn.
crazy. Me and him actually hit in Vancouver. We were 8-4. We weren't playing for any like he won and didn't even get the mat. Like we were just basically playing for fun.
Yeah.
And I was on Pike and he ended up beating me, which is funny because Diana's a really good matchup for Pike. But I didn't draw falling star for multiple games. I was like, well, my deck sucks. That's why I didn't play Pike. I was like, this deck sucks. Um, but no, yeah, I mean, he's a really good player. I saw his list, of course, like as we know, top 8 open deck list, so I kind of got to look at a lot of what he was doing.
Yep.
I saw that only 2 Hui, only 2 Moonfall on the main board. I felt really confident about that. And I saw sideboard, and it didn't feel like it had anything super spicy to beat me, other than I think he had a Kha'Zix in the sideboard that he
Yep.
ended up even getting to play in game 2. And that was the only thing I was really worried about going into game 2 is being able to answer the Kha'Zix. But I was feeling pretty good about the matchup when I saw his list.
Um, like at what point were you? Because like in game two, there was a moment where you were like just so ahead, and were you kind of like, damn, like, was it starting to bubble up inside?
Yeah, he played the Spite Fountain, and I was like, low key, I might win this event. Like turn one, he plays Spite Fountain. I was a little mad because I had a first mate, and so like I had a way to get over his 2 drop if he played a 2 drop, and I was like, that's a little annoying that he played the Fountain, so I can't get over. But it allowed me to conquer the other side, which ends up being the right play a lot of the times, anyways, because Diana can hold up. If he just plays the 3 drop, he still has 2 mana to hold up, and not giving him leader effect value is good. But yeah, I think he DM'd really aggressively, got super aggressive. But
Hmm.
I mean, he had rebuke, he had switch to in hand, he had a lot of ways to really cheese out the game a little bit. And I think
And it was double
I don't
arenas,
know.
right? So it kind of makes
Yes, it was
sense
double arena, started at
on
2 points. He gets to go to 4 with
yep,
Fountain instantly.
yep,
And I think with his hand, it might have ended up being the right play. I know a lot of people have been talking. There's been some discourse about whether that was the play to play the 2 drop or not. And I think it's a hard decision. I think he like with his hand, it was probably optimal, but I haven't gone back and watched the game yet. I'm going to do some reviews of them when I get the time and go back and watch and kind of talk about all my thoughts and what was going on
yep,
throughout the games. But yeah, I was feeling really confident. I also think I flip doubles arenas expecting to lose so that I have a more favorable game 3 because of how aggressive his list is. And that was the main reason for flipping double arenas was because I'm like, okay, I'll lose the game 2 and then game 3 will be really favorable for me. I think one of the biggest strengths of Arena's greatest on the play is that your opponent ends up playing a battlefield that has text. So if they play Arenas, I play Emperor's Dice. He gets to go conquer that, play turn on 1, go conquer it, make his Sand Soldier play Diana, and be in a really good spot.
yeah,
And I think not allowing people to do that by flipping double arenas is
yeah,
definitely a strategy that I think more people could employ in the future.
yeah. Yeah, that was pretty like so the finals were double seat of power, double arenas. Like that's
Yep.
crazy. I don't know if there was ever been a final where like 2 rounds, all battlefields were the
Yeah,
same.
I don't think so. Yeah, because like most of the time you have battlefields you want to play on the play and draw, so it's really hard game 2 to be playing the same battlefields and game 3 to be playing the same battlefields. So yeah, that's really
That's
cool to think
crazy.
about.
You're
I
just
never
like,
even thought
hey,
about that.
let's give them a show. Boom, double arenas,
Yep,
and
I sat there thinking for so long. I was like, because I had done it multiple times on the weekend very confidently, and I was like, it's finals, bro. Like, can I be doing this in finals? Like, I was like, I'm playing for infinite amount of money. Like, and I was like, let's give him a show. This is what we're here for. And then, yeah, and then I had that double conquer. I double saboed. His hand was Clay Turner, and I was like,
yep,
good luck. Like,
yep,
see if you find it. And
yep.
he almost did. The Gust was probably like the best card that he could have drawn in his deck. I was like, that draw was nuts. And then but I ended up having the bus spell to get over on the left side anyways, so ended up working out for me.
And then, yep, whole event, man. Damn.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
I just want to yap just a little bit. I want to ask, like, how does it happen afterwards? Like, you win, you raise the trophy interview, blah 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 blah. They already came up to you since you had like locked in 40 tickets to choose what prize
yeah.
card, and then they give you like your best of, or they already give it to you. Then how do they give you the
Um
champion playmat, the champion card? Like, how does it happen afterwards?
Yeah, they after the event, there's a bunch of production stuff. You take photos with the plaque, the promo, and the best of, and all that stuff. And yeah, they just kind of do a bunch of photos, give you all the stuff, and then yeah, that's mostly what happened. Nothing too crazy. I think they're gonna email me about all like the pricing and stuff like that. I think, yeah, like I was talking to Pismat a lot after about like what's gonna
Yep.
happen because he was there hanging out with me, and he was like, yeah, they'll email you, and then they'll get you, make sure you get all your pricing and everything like that. But they have us take photos with it and all that stuff. So it was really
Okay,
cool
so
getting
you don't get to
to
go
do that.
back, like you don't have the playmat and the champion card now.
I have no, I get the payment on the card, but I don't. They don't send give me like the money, anything, or anything like
Oh,
that on
okay,
the
okay,
spot.
okay,
But
okay.
yeah, I even played Nexus night last night. I was playing with my champion Matt and my best of Yi at my local Nexus night. So it was really
Damn.
funny. I net decked the Hartford regional winners. So deck's
I
broken. Who would have guessed?
yeah, like I would have done the same shit, bro. And I honestly, I would have swapped to a fucking yellow deck, and I would have played Blade of the Rune King, just to flex the
Just to play the book,
yeah.
just to play the poppy. No, the poppy is being kept safe. So I was like,
Yeah.
that one
Oh,
needs to
it's a
be.
poppy. It's written champion on
Yes,
it.
it's Poppy. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay,
like
okay,
the
okay.
yellow Poppy. Yeah,
Sorry, I thought it
so
was
she's being
Thoric
kept
again.
safe and in a good spot. But yeah, no, it was cool. I actually, I really like the top 8 playmat. I think the top 8 playmat's really cute.
What is
The
it?
champion one I
Which
don't really like as much, but the top 8 one, yeah, if you look it up, that playmat's so cute.
top eight
I was
playmat
playing with it when we were testing, so I was like,
Hartford?
I guess I have it with me. I can show the camera, but
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's the sugar poppy thing, like a skin.
yes, yeah, the sugar Poppy.
Okay. So you have one for top 128, you have one for top 8, and you have the champion playmat. Let's see the drip.
Yeah, this one right here. Oh, that's backwards. The back of it is
Oh
black, but
yeah,
yeah.
nice.
This playmat, yeah.
It says top 8 at the
Right here, it
bottom.
says top cut. It says
Oh,
top
top
cut, which I
cuts.
thought was really funny. We were talking about that. We were like top cut is a weird way to word it over
Yeah.
like top 8 or top cut or something like that. But it's like you made top cut, and I
So
was
you
like,
so you
okay.
got playmat for 128, top 128, the Vex one.
Yes, yeah, there was
You
a
got
Vex
top
mat as
8,
well.
and then champion.
Yes, yeah, and then yeah, the 40 prize ball tickets, and
Yep.
yeah, a
And
lot of
then
really dope
the
stuff. And
card, and then the
oh,
prizing
they
is
give me
like
a plaque
6K.
as well. That's like it said Hartford Regional Win. I'm gonna hang it up in my room.
Oh yeah, you should, bro. But the trophy like stays to them, right?
The trophy they keep. I think potentially if you win the regional later in the year, they give you the
Nice.
trophy. But they
That's
give you
sick.
this.
That's a
So
nice plaque. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yes, yeah, I was happy
Top
enough with
8.
this, and I was like, I can hang it up. As you can tell, I have things hung up in my room everywhere, so I need to find a good spot for it. But
Yep, you got some lovely ladies and some medals. What are those medals? Like you played a sport when
they're
you were younger?
no, they're lanyards from concerts that I've gone to with VIP.
Oh,
So they're concerts I've gone to over the last like 4 or 5 years that I've gone VIP at. So yeah.
music enjoyer.
Yes, yeah, I listen to a lot of like Sabrina Carpenter, Taylor Swift, Gracie Abrams type
Okay, okay,
music. So if you
okay.
want to win a regional, if you want to win a regional, go listen to Maisie Peters. Trust me, she will lock you in. She locked me in. She won me a regional. That's my goat right there.
Shout out Macy. Um, I want to say also, did you find it was cold in the event hall during the whole weekend?
I am always cold.
Like,
So like I just assume that if I'm cold, it's like good for everybody else. Cause like I want it to be like 75 degrees inside. Like I'm a little crazy. I'm really skinny of course and stuff. So like but yeah, I'm always like wearing my hoodie and everything to help. Like if you'll see I was wearing 3 layers. I had my shirt and I had a hoodie on and I had the jersey on over my
yeah,
hoodie. So that helps a lot. So I was a little cold, but I wasn't I I think so I went to an event when I was playing One Piece in Birmingham and it was like January. No, it was February. It was February, and it was like the hall like didn't have insulation, so it was like 45, 50 degrees the whole time in the event. Like I was dying. Like so, I think since then, like I can't even complain. Like after playing in that event, I'm like I can't even complain anymore when it's cold because I experienced having to
yeah.
play an event and like no
Like it was
insulation
my first
outside.
event, so maybe it's kind of like that everywhere. But I felt like it was so cold. Like, and some tables, like you were right under the AC, and like maybe you didn't experience that because I was in the fucking trenches, bro, of the like
In the
700
trenches.
tables, right? Like you see some shit. Hey, let me tell you, I finished 4-4, but like I bricked. I just went way too hard. It's my first event. I kind of let the mental boom get to me. because I know I can make at least day two, like not maybe
Yeah.
128, but and like I start off 2-4. I went 2-4 and then went up to 4-4. And when you're 2-4, let me tell you, bro, there is some stuff that happens in those tables, bro. You see some stuff like it's crazy, bro.
You're like, what
I
are we
played
doing?
Decree. My opponent is a 12-year-old Master Yi. I played Decree. He answers with Rengar in his base. Or like
Bro, what?
yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm like, you can't do that. And it would have
Yeah,
been
you're like,
bad
bro,
for
read
him
the
because I
card.
was about to bellows in the backline. So it's like, do you want to? Anyways.
Like, yeah, it's gonna die anyway. Like, what are we
And
doing?
then
That's so funny.
like Victor Mirror, I salvage his sprite fountain, so the sprite dies like on his turn back. He plays
Yeah.
the sprite at the battlefield. I'm like, yeah, you have to play it at the
Yeah,
base.
yeah.
But yeah, the bottom tables, bro, it's
Uh,
an experience. It's funny games. It's funny games, definitely. So yeah, in those tables, like maybe there are more of them that are right under the AC, but bro, some tables like, and I'm from Canada, right? I'm from Quebec. We get like
yeah, yeah.
minus 20 winters and shit like that. And I had my shit, but it was so cold. But the event
Yeah,
was
I feel like
amazing. Like,
it wasn't too bad for us. Maybe top tables just didn't. They had no AC at the top
yeah,
tables or something.
maybe.
I don't know.
Yeah, you were all just jammed in like the first 100 tables.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. You also have everyone standing around you, so there's a lot more people.
Yeah,
Like everyone's always standing up around those top tables, and that's where everyone wants to hang out to see all the pros and everything.
yeah, it was cool looking at the games. For me, first event. It was an amazing event, very well organized. Shout out UVS. It was a good event hall as well. I think it was also the event with the most players ever. They keep breaking
Yes,
the
yeah.
records.
We had the most players by one.
Yep, by
Utrecht had
one.
1953, and we had 1954, and I was
Yep.
like, I won the event with the most players. Let's
Aye,
go.
let's go, bro. But I'm not sure it's gonna be that for long. I think next event we'll keep getting more and more. Riftbound is an amazing game. Um, the community is amazing. I feel like everyone is just so nice, and maybe it's amplified when you go to these events because everyone loves Riftbound that goes to those events. Those are pretty big events. It's like players that are deep into the game. So like you just sit down, you talk to your opponent, and it's instant like friends and stuff. Like throughout the whole weekend, my opponents when I like cross them like when going to tables and shit, you're like, hey, what's up? Oh, how you doing?
Yep.
And I saw you. I remember I was seeing you like quite often because like you're a recognizable player because of your hair and like
Yeah,
you
yeah.
wearing
It's
jerseys.
like
So I was
my
like, oh, like I played against him. Like I know him. I was like oftentimes I wanted to go up and ask how you're doing, but either we were playing or you were with your group of friends, so I didn't want to bother. But like I remember on the Sunday I was walking around and I'm like, hey, I know this guy. I played against him, and I see you like in the top tables. I'm like, hey, I wonder how he's doing. Then I see you make top 8. Then I see you play against Brady Kin and then win it all. But GG, man. Like, what a good weekend for you. Like, let me ask you one thing. What are you gonna do with the card and like the pricing and
Currently going to keep the card. Currently I'm keeping everything. The champion Matt. I like basically. I was going to sell the top 8 stuff, but I kind of like the playmat, so I might just sell the card.
yeah,
But I might end up selling like the top 8 card if I end up wanting to. But yeah, the best of the champion stuff I'm currently keeping. Like
the best of?
they give you like I get 6K cash for winning, which is enough to supplement going to a
Yep.
couple more events, Barcelona, Spain. I also expect myself to do well in future events and be able to keep up playing at this high level, so I'm not super worried about really needing to sell all the
Yep.
stuff to be able to go to events the next couple of years. Because I mean, I'm expecting to continue doing well and continue grinding, and this is just you hold the trophy once and it really makes you want to do it again. To be honest,
You're
so
itching for it again.
yep, yep, yep.
Yeah, let's cover a little bit. This is like towards the end. I just want to cover a little bit about the next thing. So, last event of Unleashed, right? There are skirmishes happening soon, but like skirmishes, you're gonna be fine. But then Vendetta, regionals. Do you have any plans? If so, about Legends going to the events? Like, what are your thoughts about what's coming to Riftbound? Like, we're on the edge of like a new everything changing.
Yeah, I'm scared of Darius and green cards existing together. I'm scared
Ooh.
of my opponent going Darius and then like discipline and then bringing it in and then they like hide my hourglass and I'm like,
Yeah, in
what am I
Akali,
gonna do
right?
to beat this, right? Like, yeah, like in a Kali and yeah, like,
Damn, I
and then they
just
can like, no, Darius and
I
green
didn't
cards
think
in my
about
head
that,
seem
bro.
so good. It's like the same as Rengar. Like Rengar and green is so good because you just gets to slam the Rengar, but it's a
Damn.
7 that can come back and forth. And if they hourglass and then it lives,
7
like
without
if you hide
discipline.
an hourglass. they can get over it. It dies, it goes back to base, and the next turn you can like move here, ready, bring it back. I don't know. I feel like it's gonna be a menace, but maybe I'm a little, maybe I'm a little overscared. They're gonna have Defy
Yeah.
in their deck. You can't. You're gonna be like trying to kill the Darius, and they're gonna be like Defy your spell, and it's like I don't know.
Oh
I think
boy.
that's gonna be really cool to see in action, and I think green cards are really strong, so I'm excited
I
to see them with
I
the
mean,
last color combo they needed.
you are using quite a bit in Master, yeah. So you're not too sure like on Legends and stuff. Like you're not saying, oh, I'm sticking to Master Yi. You're like you're gonna be playing what you enjoy and what's
No,
good.
I think the most important thing is to have fun. I
Yep.
think the reason that I've been able to do so well in these events is I love testing with Ricky and Ethan and everybody, and we have such an enjoyable time
Shout
testing
out
and
to your
playing.
boys,
And
man.
yes, yes, shout out to the boys, Kachow Casanova and Kachow Pound It, the goats, building the deck for me and testing it for me while I was in New Orleans. Um, but yeah, no, like whatever I have the most fun playing, whatever I think is the best is probably what I'm gonna end up on. And just yeah, I mean, like I think I want to win the event. I can't. I did the best of thing once. I went for Pike, and it's not for me. Like I wanted to.
So now
I want
you're
to
aiming
give
for
myself the
yourself.
highest
So
chance to get first place.
yep.
So yeah, yeah.
And now you've
So yeah.
proven to yourself and to everyone that you can do it as well. Being a league player, any legends you're excited to be added to the game, like that you can't wait to
I
play?
in the last 4 years, have probably played Zach for about 95% of my games. If Zach ever comes
Ooh,
into the game, I will
dude,
be
that's
going
gonna
for
be
Zach best of.
sick,
If
bro.
y'all want to fight me, go ahead. I will only play Zach for every regional that his best of is allowed, and I think, yeah, I feel like his design could be so cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
his
He can
signature
have like
spell could be something
he can
like
have
his
a
Q, where
one,
you can like pull two things at a battlefield, make them fight or something. Like
two.
I feel like you can do so many cool things with him. So
Yeah, like he could
yeah,
have like a card where you can have more than three of, which is a one energy gear, and it's the blobs, and you can use it
yes.
to like heal him or give him
He'll
plus
he'll
one
one
or
or
some
do
shit.
something. Yes, yes. There's so many cool things they can do with it. I feel like his
And
design
Zack is
space
such
is
a
like
funny and
so
cool
awesome for this
character.
game, and I love Zach. I love playing jungle, and yeah, Zach is like that champion is my go. I love playing him.
Colors for Zack. Green?
I think okay, so we have had conversations about it. Green, of course, like we were talking about green, purple potentially, but we also talked
Green
about orange,
orange. Yeah.
purple.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think like body chaos makes a lot of sense for what he kind of is.
Yeah,
Of
yeah.
course, like he is green in the game, but like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think body chaos makes the most sense for him because he is a little chaotic with all
Yep.
like in the game, and
And he
then yeah,
moves
he's a
people and
big blob.
bounces. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that would be cool. I think orange purple would be cool.
All right, man. Well, hey, thank you so much for doing this. It was extremely fun talking to you, going over your games. Have fun at the LGS and just keep playing, man. Keep grinding. Congratulations once again on the win at Hartford. Anything else you want to say to people before we close this out?
Yeah, of course. First, I want to say thank you so much for having me and being so chill. Like even before I won the event, like we had such a good conversation after a
Yep,
game. It was such an amazing time. So I'm happy to follow your journey with through content creation and everything, and hopefully that keeps going well for you. Yeah, shout out as we just said, Kachow Pound It, Kachow Casanova, Ricky and Ethan. They are my goats, my testing partners. Also, I want to shout out Houses Are Big. We bought his guide before the event, which helped out a lot. You can there's a code YeFactor20. You can get 20% off his guide. We are going to be doing a little bit of collaboration later in the week as well, talking about the list and why I included all of the things. So yeah, if you're interested in the deck, I will not be releasing my own guide. I think that his is strong enough already. I don't want to make Master Yi players want to pay for a whole second guide. I think it
that's
would be a
cool.
little bit of a money grab, and I'd rather just collaborate with somebody who's already done a lot of the things and just can get and just kind of work a little bit on that, so people who have already paid for a Master Yi guide can get the information that I want to get out there as well. So yeah.
That's very cool. Yeah. Send me the link to the guide, or I'll try to find it
Yes.
after this. I'll put it in the description. So if anyone wants to, yeah, understand more about Yi and the game in general, should definitely go check it out. And the promo code is YeFactor20.
Yi dash factor dash 20. You can also, if you go to my Twitter, it's Kachow Factor. Follow me on Twitter. You can find the code there as well. And yeah, the first 10 people to use it get 20% off.
And you also commented on my recap video, and I saw like you had a YouTube channel. Nothing on there yet. Any plans? Like you said, you were gonna review your
Yes,
runs,
yeah,
and yeah.
I've done a deck profile tournament overview already that goes a lot more in depth about all of my decisions, sideboarding decisions, and things like that throughout the tournament. I'm going to be doing a lot more content creation stuff. I'm going to be looking at going VOD reviewing all of my games I would put on stream, talking about a lot of things, as well as more content creation in the future. I'm going to be doing a lot of testing online and stuff like that. So I'll be posting like scrim videos and things like that. I've done content creation in the past. I used to play video games like 5 years ago and do a lot of that stuff. So I have a little bit of knowledge of what I need to do, but it's been a long time, so I'm kind of getting back into it and really excited to be able to do all that. I'll also be doing coaching. I'll be announcing that a little bit later. It's not fully announced yet, but later I'm going to be having coaching as well and stuff like that. So if you're interested in doing some one-on-ones with me, then yeah, that'll be available as well.
Perfect, man. Well, thank you very much for doing this, bro. Um, Best of luck on whatever is coming for you, Riftbound and Life. Hopefully, I can get to see you play another match, rematch maybe. 2-0.
This
You have to have your
rematch.
rematch against me, bro.
Yeah, I gotta get it back.
All right, man. It was super fun seeing you. Have a good rest of your day, bro.
Of course, you as well.